Hey there team, and welcome to something really quite chaotic here. A little 2v5 siege. Oh fantastic, is this is Thranduil's Halls. Great, okay cool. Because of course we have a new Thranduil's Halls in the new version. So this will probably be my final, I don't, well we'll see. This might be the last original, well I say original, the last previous Thranduil's Halls that I ever end up doing. So that'd be nice. It's cool because I've always liked Thranduil's Halls on the map. Of course, the new Thranduil's Halls is absolutely stunning, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's always something that's spoken to me a little bit. But yeah, so no, not excited either way. This, as I say, is a 2v5. A little Nawaki Thanatos duo again. I'm guessing, yep, Nawaki and Thanatos together. Of course, with Khazad and Mirkwood. Usually, that's what you've got. You've either got Thanatos. Sorry, my tongue is not ready for this. Thanatos playing as Khazad. Very rarely Erebor, but usually Khazad, and usually then Nawaki as either Lothlorien or Mirkwood. One of the one of the heavy archer elf forces. So, and I think that the two armies there really blend incredibly well together, and they're nice to see side by side. Because this is a cityscape rather than a normal, castle siege. We can actually sort of rattle through this, and fantastic. We're actually at, I think maybe evening or morning, so we do actually have the nice light around, and we do have these torches for the boys as well. So we've got the Orc Hunters of Khazad there from Thanatos, Hammerers of Gundabad, of course. It's going to be a bit tricky to see what's going on with the trees. Sometimes what I end up doing is actually lowering the quality of the trees, which just does let us see things a bit better, but we'll keep it as this for now. But yeah, if I do lower the quality, it's not because anything's running. It's not because we're having trouble running anything. It is just because of the it lets us see the units slightly better. But yeah, we'll see what happens later. Sons of the Fallen here. Behind them some 3rd Legion infantry with those armor upgrades. It's really, well, when you're in a 5v2 scenario, it is absolutely, every man absolutely counts, much more so than in a normal siege. Let's go to 0.4, I think, because we're going to be getting a lot of moving around. Iron Watch of Merimere, 2 Iron Watches. That's, I mean, it's bold, but we need bold plays here. If we're going to have a chance, we need very, very bold plays. Mithril Guard and Legion Bodyguard. 1st Legion Pikes, next to more of these Sons of the Fallen. Then moving into Nawaki's forces, he's got his Elven King Palace Guard with that armor upgrade, just one of them. Greenwood Rangers, Elders of the Elven King there. More Rangers, which yeah, you'd expect. I'd maybe even ponder seeing 3 of them. Wardens of Amon Lank there, double Wardens, that's great because in melee they've got their AP axes. At range they're not AP arrows, but just very, very high damage arrows. Sorry, wait, that's 1, 2... Has he gone for the 3? He has gone for 3 Rangers, which is incredibly expensive, but I think it does make sense. Armor upgraded Hiri Lang, Woodland Protectors there. Hiriek, more Elven King Palace Guard, more Hiriek, Hirioth, and any Sindar. Sometimes you would see that on Thranduil's. Hiri Peng, more Hiri Peng, and nothing up on the top. So, and nothing sent on inside straight away. Oh no, we do have some Sindar. That's good. I do like cavalry on Thranduil's. I think it's a good idea. Anyway, zooming over here to the first of the attackers. I'll start way over here on the right side. There's no crossing point anywhere. Their only crossing point is right in the middle. You've got Power Ranger here. So he's got to snag a Stalker Boys, Orc Fellers, Blackguard and Hammer Guard. No armor upgrade for the Hammer Guard. Then Goblin Trackers. Some Barrow-wights, that's good to see, but they're going to take a very long time to get over here. Gundabad Guard without any armor upgrades. I'm not seeing any Dwarven aesthetic to them, so I think they are without armor today. Angmar Marauders, more Stalker Boys, the Pikemen, and more Archers. So big numbers, I like that a lot. I like the Barrow-wights being brought. That's a damn good shout. So overall, I'm a big fan of Power Rangers army. Sometimes when you've got a name that you don't really recognize, you can expect some pretty wild things, but that's good. We've got Armor. Never seen this name before again, and he's playing as Angmar, which again is a cool shout. He's got his Witchers, some Blackwatch Legion there to come battering through more of these Gundabad Guard. You do see this guy does have some armor upgrades, Dwarven shields, and those Dragon Slayer helms getting mixed in amongst them so they can take a bit of a beating. Armor upgraded pikes, that's a damn good shout. I'd always armor upgrade my pikes. Same with the Scourge Raiders, cool. So even though I don't really recognize this guy's name, he is coming out with a few of the well-known tactics. And armor upgraded Guardians of Carn Dûm. So much smaller, even the Hammer Guard too, goodness me. Much smaller, but much more elite army from this Angmar force, which I think is definitely cool, as long as the other players are bringing some heavy numbers, which, yeah, it looks like Alexius here has certainly done that. He's got his cave trolls, fearmongers, goodness sake, swarms and swarms of gobble crossbowmen, and yeah, no, goodness me, that's a lot of gobble crossbows. Heaps and heaps of halberds. Mountain Orc host, actually quite a solid mainline unit, and pretty beefy numbers too. Then we've got Smeagol. So he's got his Isengard forces, heaps of these Uruk-hai infantry, those trolls of the White Hand. I think it's just going to be dealing with all these trolls is going to be tough. Snag a skirms in the back. And the Isengard ballista. So you've got to be very careful. If he gets his ballista over there, he can start rattling shots across into that defensive position. It might even, I think it'll probably even reach from its current spot, so that's a bit dangerous. And raiders, and then the final attacker today is Rhun. So we do have some more disciplined human forces to come and keep these orcs and uruks in check. We've got the camels chosen there. Some, what's this? Eastron crossbows. No armor upgrade for the Eastron crossbowmen though. Eastron hunters, very fragile guys, but just swarms of arrows, which is quite good because not, we don't really have too much of that from everybody else. Eastron warriors, a cool shout. These guys now sort of the camels immortals have taken that position in the new version. Eastron clansmen with 1 level, no armor upgrade for the Eastron clansmen, so again just very gentle. Some for these guys though. Some armor upgraded, some not. And generally heavy numbers from Hades. That's kind of cool. So I was kind of expecting Hades, being the human faction, he would delve more into the disciplined golden main line of Rhun, but no, he seems to have gone deep into numbers, so we've got him, he's massive numbers, of course Misty, big numbers, Isengard's gone pretty, somewhat numerous, so only really one of the attackers has gone for this high competency of his forces. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing, and it's going to make Mirkwood worry a bit, just because of how careful they're going to have to be with their ammunition. You can see the balance of power is not loving life right now. Of course, that's partly just due to Barrow Wights. Barrow Wights really make the balance of power think, oh god, you're going to win easy, just because of the amount of hit points that they've got. But still, this is a tough ask from the guys. But we've seen them climb out of these sorts of situations before. We do have some more sort of well-known players, as I say, like Smeagol there. I've definitely sort of seen him kicking about quite a bit, so we've got some action ahead, I am sure of that. And it's nice to see that the attackers are taking their time here to sort of gather up. I'm going to jump up to 6 times speed for a minute. I'm seeing what they're doing with the ballista there. I'm kind of interested in that. It's a bit sneaky, but I think he's going to be using that to sort of bully this, well, right-hand side, the left-hand side for the defenders, of course, because usually what you see is a much wider defense happening over on this end. You're seeing already the Hammers of Gundabad setting up over there, so it's kind of a good idea that they're bringing the artillery this end instead of over here, where you can get some great punishment on this position, but that's about it then. By the way, we'll have to see what he does with that ballista, how often he's moving it around, and so on. Who is going to be leading the way? Looks like the Uruk-hai, but very closely followed by the little gobbles off the mountains, are going to be making their way down first. Gobble infantry leading the way, those very cheap Gobble infantry, backed up by the mountain Uruks. So yeah, lots of Uruks today. And these Uruk-hai raiders, again, very cheap. Now, the thing is, there's no spears in amongst this. There's not a single spear, and we're not moving up our archer cover. We do have some archer cover moving up from Hades. No, those are just Eastron clansmen. Goodness sake, the hordes of fodder just coming in to absolutely tar pit the centre here. And some of these people, like, I mean, the Uruk-hai Raiders, they can get a handful of kills, and of course the Mountain Uruk host, they'll be getting a few kills. Not AP or anything like that, but solid units. But as I say, I'm bringing up the spears and the lack of range cover just because we do have the Sindar on defense. And I mean, Nawaki's always really careful with his cavalry. Far more careful than I usually am. Usually if I do have some cavalry, I would see this coming. I wouldn't go for them just yet, but this would be an absolutely juicy target for me. Just because I know with my Sindar, I can slam the front of that Uruk-hai Raider unit, kill at least 40-50 and get out almost unscathed. Especially with a unit with the defensive skill of the Sindar. You know, they're going to be in, bash him and out, barely touched. So no spears, and I mean, I'm thinking about the whole, going through most of the attacking armies there, we don't have many spears, apart from the Gundabad Guard, which are, you know, they're much more mainline spears, which, to be honest, with those heavy shields, I would get them up here. So if I saw this happening and I was an attacker, I would definitely be screaming at the boys right now, just to let them know that we need to be wary of Cav. But whether or not, yeah, Nawaki's got them moving up. He's got them walking. Oh, stakes. Nawaki, you always do this. You always put damn stakes down. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think you're much better off just not. Yeah, like, I know you remember where your stakes are and your enemies may not, but it's like, I just think it limits your mobility. So he's put stakes down there. Has he put stakes down in the centre? He has. He's put them down in the centre too. So it's just if he starts running back, that's just going to mean he's got to walk through this area. If he doesn't, of course, he's skewered. But if he does, then he's going to get shot in the back by archers. So it's swings and roundabouts, of course, as everything is. But I really don't like it. I think you're much better off just not putting stakes down. But hey, Nawaki knows what he's doing. He's a much better defender than I am. I will happily admit that. Eastron Hunters, I'm glad to see that from Hades. Good stuff. Even though they're much lower quality archers, you know, mass fire into something like the Sindar, unshielded, not incredible armor for their cost. The Eastron Hunters are going to cause damage. Now, the Eastron Hunters are running up ahead here. Would be expected. You know, this is kind of the way that I want to approach these situations anyway. Send up my archers to hopefully tease out some ammunition from the defenders. Poke a few shots into the likes of, well, anything here. Because there's only 2 defenders, yeah, I mean, every little kill you get is so important. There's not really that much in the way of, like, fodder defense, you know? Like, when you're up in, like, a 4v4 or even a 4v3... you know the defenders are going to have a few units where it's like, yeah, please shoot this one. Shoot this militia spearman. Whereas that's just not something that Nawaki and Thanatos have on the field today. You know, every little shot that you put into one of those orc hunters, you know, is great. Or, I mean, Lord, if you can get your shots back there, even into something like the Woodland Protectors, it's going to hurt to lose some of them. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. We do have the shots opening up right now from the Eastron Hunters. Let's see what they're generally going for. This would be a nice target. If they can hit, they are hitting. They are hitting the Hiri Peng, and the Hiri Peng are not shooting back. There's not anything that's a worthy target. So Nawaki, it sucks for him, but he's got to sit and sort of weather this storm. It's just whether or not he decides to pull back from this hilltop. He does. Because you'd really want the Dwarves to be taking this initial fire from something like the Eastron Hunters. But again, with Nawaki, even with this armor upgrade, even with the armor upgrade, the Hiri Peng are so light that the Eastron Hunters are going to be able to hurt them. Looks like we're actually pushing in deep now from Malexius. Let's zoom into the minimap a little bit just so we can get a good idea. This is the left side. Yeah, good. So we can kind of make sense of it. Those gobbles charging in there by themselves. We're getting some battle noises. Oh, goodness me, somebody was wavering. Who's... Gobbles, don't waver yet. You've only made contact 2 seconds ago. None of you have died. Don't you dare waver. See, this is where you'd love to just get one volley. One volley of anything, doesn't even have to be fire arrows, but one volley and those units are broken and they're out of there. They'll come back though, because they'll hopefully run straight out. But either way, something that Thranduil is more than happy to do right now. These little gobbles just starting to strike at the line. Oh, we are actually shooting. We're carving through with Elders of the Elven King right now, which normally you wouldn't want to be... Oh no, that's not Elders. Sorry, that's those are Rangers. Those are body-piercing shots. Fair enough. Trying to get a break there, or just inflict mass casualties against this sort of grouped-up unit, which, as much as it sucks, I'm sure Alexius is actually happy enough that he's using up some of those volleys, but I would just be so worried about my guys breaking right now. You can see these guys, they are in shield wall formation, so they're naturally wanting to push forward, pushing deeper and deeper into the gobble lines like that, not just holding position. Let's try and stay low below the trees so we can keep good eyes on this. Just check the other avenues for a minute. No movement from the Sindar, they're just lurking over there. Oh shoot, I really should be paying attention to that ballista, shouldn't I? Where is he taking it? He's over here, he's not shooting with it right now. Are we seeing any damage that he has caused? No, we're not. More stakes down there. Okay, no damage yet from the ballista. Looks like interesting. So he carved this little area there with the stakes. Nice. Isengard looks like they're about to hit now, and they're going straight in with their Urukai infantry. Pretty nice and early, but I'm not against that. I quite like using the main line infantry quite early. But I'm up against something like Armor Upgrade and 3rd Legion. The normally very dominant Urukai infantry are actually going to be really struggling there. You can see they've been brought together just in time. They were spread out to avoid any shots from the ballista, but now they don't have to worry about that too much. And you can see this instant carnage there. We are losing troops though. Those Urukai infantry, I mean 3rd Legion infantry are taking losses, but I think that is largely down to these fearsome trolls. Let me just grab a quick shot here, just because, oh, that's quite nice. Hopefully I've grabbed it while the hammerers are coming in. But yeah, that's just in case I forget to take anything later. I'm very bad for that. Eastron Hunters pulling back. Looks like, okay, that was cool. Sindar came in, but once again, they couldn't run freely through here. Oh, why did all the bodies just disappeared? What happened there? And the ground just swallowed up all the goblins, it seems. Yeah, nice nutrients for the ground. 2% though. So as much as this looks like it's really going quite well for the defenders right now, and it is, it's a good start for them. This is already they're already 1% down, which is a bit scary. Because that ballista is on the field, it may be on the other end right now, but even because it's on the field, the elves are having to defend the rear side of this slope. They can't, normally what you'd love to do is really pack this area up with troops. So you've got that downhill advantage, but they're not doing that. They're wanting to stay out of sight from any fire at all, really. And that's meaning that these Mountain Uruk coasts are actually getting a fair fight, which is all you can ask for as an attacker. Hiri Lang popping up to give some support, that's a very good thing to see. I mean, as long as Alexius's troops here don't break, then this is good. So we need troops behind them. Even if they're not getting involved in the fight, we need something behind them. Eastron Hunters moving forward. Looks like they've got their bows. They're just going to get a very close range shot here. It looks like the disciplined, even though they are very numerous today, the disciplined humans of Rhun are able to advance up close and just stare down the dwarves and elves. They've taken the center there, so yeah, it looks like Rhun pushing up the center, Isengard pushing up on the right, and the gobbles up on the left. So we'll see where the Angmar units end up going as well after this. Raiders, they're really struggling up against that 3rd Legion line, but we're seeing they're already down to 77, those 3rd Legion infantry. Trolls slamming into the far right flank, which is a great move from them. The Hammers of Gundabad coming in to respond. Hammers will really hurt them, but the 3rd Legion infantry will really struggle to nail these guys down. And yeah, we're seeing down to 44. And to be honest, that's that very far right flank already looking very, very shaky. Let me just move my foot mat 1 sec. Nice. Yeah, so that's good aggression. As I've said this before, like Smeagol's one of the guys that I'm really looking at today. He's one of the names that I've been knowing for quite a while, of course. So, but let's say I'm sure a lot of these guys have been around for a bit. Just don't really spotted them. Hades there, backing up his ally with some of these strong clansmen, just being numbers there really. And a few little scratches to the hammers, a good and a bad is always a good thing too. And I like that. Hey, cool. We've got the archers set up over here. Very nice. So they'll be able to, I mean, any target is a good target. As an attacker in this situation, anything that you can put an arrow into is a very, very good thing. These strong clansmen here already wavering. Woodland Protectors unleashing... Oh, goodness. No, sorry, that wasn't Woodland Protectors. That was the Rangers ripping into those Eastron Hunters. Absolutely, yeah, peppering them to pieces. Down to 62 now. But, to be honest with you... Oh, damn, they broke. If we avoided the break there, that would have been fine. Oh, dear me, that's another volley. So, okay, I think most of these troops are not going to be coming back there. There was that little last shot to really scare them off. As nasty as that was, I wouldn't be too upset there if I was Hades. Because I've been using up, you know, together then, we've used up a lot of that Elven Ranger fire. And even though they've got 3 units off it, you know, it's not limitless. Alexis has continued his fight. We're seeing some casualties inflicted, not as many as we would maybe like though. I'll be quite interested to see... Oh, a nice little rear charge there. You see, this is how Nowaki uses his cav. And I think it's maybe not as explosive as that like sally out slam in there, but it's constant and it's causing these breaks, or it's helping achieve some of these little breaks. Oh, this is a bit shaky. They've chased away that routing unit, which has caused them to flow into this remaining unit, and actually they're going to be getting a lot of free hits. We're seeing a few elves getting struck down in amongst all that chaos. Nowaki, you need to catch these guys. And Lord, if we had archers down here, you'd be absolutely... Yeah, Nowaki must... his micro is focused elsewhere right now, because this is very, very dangerous. All those elves getting pulled through the Uruk Coast. I'm surprised the Uruk Coast didn't actually break from that. We're pulling them back now, but God, I'm sure the attackers are kicking themselves that they didn't have some sort of archer unit to punish that. We did catch the remaining Uruks, though, and wipe them out. Deary me, yeah. Like, we could do with a few troops a little bit closer right now. The defenders don't have any artillery, so I would be wanting to sort of really gather more of my troops down here. I know the pathfinding in this area can be a little bit tricky, so it's not really the nicest places to gather your troops up, but still, we need to be able to be fast to punish any little mistake like that. A big problem when you're in sort of one of these 5v3 scenarios is, you know, it's not just the fact that you're outnumbered or anything like that. It's the micro attention. You only have 2 brains. The enemy have 5 brains to try and pull your attention apart. So these little mistakes are going to happen a lot more often, you know, than you'd get from a 3v5. And you know, as an attacker, you need to be ready to punish those mistakes. Barrow Wights there from Power Ranger. We really don't want to keep these Barrow Wights in reserve. They're being moved up now, that's good. We really just don't want to keep the Barrow Wights in reserve just because of how slow they are, how long they take to die. Maybe the Barrow Wights might be being saved for that final choke point push. That could be the case, but still, I'd really be wanting to get them involved. A few javelins coming out from the Snaga skirms. I mean, I keep saying this, like, any target is a good target. If they were getting those javelins into the right side of the 3rd Legion, which I think they were, I think that's why Thanatos pulled them back there. I think a few of those javelins were actually getting into the right side. I maybe wouldn't worry too much if they were coming straight into the face, though. That shield value of the 3rd Legion is more than enough to sort of shrug that off. A few scraps off the 3rd Legion here, being sent forward, trying to deal with these clansmen, but they're really quite heavily outnumbered. Looks like even a few pushed in really quite deep there, getting bloodied by the remaining cave trolls. Not cave trolls, sorry, trolls of the White Hand. We're 12-15 now. So actually, hey, okay, so the defenders have sort of pulled it ahead there. But what the attackers have been using is, you know, it's these fodder, it's these poor Eastron tribesmen and so on. that have just gone down. There's a hell of a lot of them, but it's not really been much of the main line. Well, seeing that, on the left side over here, this is a lot of Mountain Uruk hosts that have fallen, and there's not any pushing going on right now. So the defenders are, well, the attackers, sorry, are not able to keep this as a constant assault. Oh, and the Sindar pushed out. Ah, damn, I missed that. Sorry, guys. But it looks like, yeah, the Sindar did push out. They got a good slam into those Snaga stalkers, getting them to pull back. Gobble infantry, again, there's no spears up here. So those Sindar, yeah, they can keep doing this. They came in again, 214. Because of that, rough terrain there. A lot of those bumps in the terrain, that wasn't the best charge in the world, but that still took them down from 214 down to 197. And a few Gobble infantry looks like they took a hit or two as well. A few Sindar have dropped though. Those are multiple hit point guys, so as soon as you start to see bodies on the ground, you know that a few others have been injured too. But still, some good work from them. I wonder if they're going to come in again or not. They did. Again, there's no spears and no archer cover or javelin cover to deal with this, so why not? Absolutely, just keep the Sindar going. They've got great energy. They're an elven cavalry unit, so they can keep this going for a long time. Cave trolls could catch them, that's a good shout. Halberdiers from Lexius moving forward now as well. Problem is, have the defenders used up enough ammunition or not? Because I would happily open up on these guys. They may be nicely armoured, but they are unshielded. What he's hopefully going to do with them, or I think, well, what he's probably going to do is move them up the right flank, because that AP from the halberds is exactly what we need for the dwarves. Gundabad Guard arriving now too, just to come and answer to those cavaliers. Again, another slam into the Eastron clansmen there. That's really rough. Those deer riders happy with those slams. Ooh. Okay, we tried to catch them there. Good move there from Alexius, but the Swift Cav forces have gotten away. I'd give it a rest now. I think we've done a lot there, but with the cave trolls kicking about, that's playtime is over for now. Let's pull back. But nope, that's really nice, and definitely going to rattle the attackers as well. You know, always good for these mind games. Two trolls, the White Hand over here, very bloodied. The remaining fighters of their unit. Hammers of Gundabad standing on the front line for Thanatos. Orc hunters set up back here as well. Goodness me, it's been a very fluid little defense over there. Not sort of the rock solid lines you'd expect. Eastron hunters advancing with their little bows. Gonna try and sort of rattle. Yeah, I mean, dude, if I could shoot the hammers of Gundabad, even as heavily armored as they are, if I got a close range shot like that offered to me, you better believe I'd be taking it. Do we have any shooters from the slopes? Hiri Peng are opening up. It looks like that's what I was thinking they were shooting at. They're actually going into the Eastron hunters. Or no, they're not. Sorry, they're not. They're going into the Uruk-hai infantry. That's a better shout. I'd be quite surprised to see them shooting at the Eastron hunters. Maybe they are. No, those shots are going into the Uruk-hai infantry. That's better. I think the Eastron hunters, the problem is, you're not going to kill all the Eastron hunters. You're going to struggle to kill lots of them, really. This is something Thanatos' attention must be elsewhere. He needs a shield out in front of these guys. Reclaimers sending out their axes into the backs of the infantry here again. These poor Uruk-hai infantry just taking a lot of the focus. But, yep, the defenders just fearing this mainline infantry, it seems, wanting to bring that down. They've got these elven and dwarven fighters are more than happy to cut through swarms of goblin infantry. But when it comes to a proper battle-ready Uruk-hai, that's something a bit different. Yeah, sure, they can still take them one-on-one, but they can't really take them three-on-one. Even something like the Sons of the Fallen are going to be struggling with that. So bringing them down is the priority. A few shots coming straight up and over into the Variag Mercs. More of these archers from Hades. He's really filling up the range component. Let's see. Sorry, I'm totally ignoring that ballista. Problem is I can't just sit and watch it the whole time. No, it's holding. Would I be wanting to use it right now? I mean, sounds crazy, but maybe. The only problem is you're not really going to... That ballista is not going to be usable once you move inside. Or once the defenders move inside. It's not going to be usable. So we're going to need to, you know, take our chances with that at some point. Those Barrow Wights popping up again, moving a little bit closer to the front line. Over here, Variag Mercs firing over into the Greenwood Rangers and the Wardens. Hail, I mean, any arrow going into these guys is a damn good shit, or maybe if an Elder takes it, even though it's a very, it's not a tiny damage arrow, but it's a lower damage arrow from the Variag Mercs. It's going to hurt something like this, and it's a very worthy thing to hurt. Anything without a shield, I'd be putting an arrow in it. Better believe that. Elders. Oh wow, Elven King Palace Guard. Dude, point blank. Happily, if I could get a point blank throw into the Elven King Palace Guard. But they've just turned up to try and wipe out the Uruk-hai infantry, which they've done very, very quickly. Just backing up the dwarves there. Always brings a tear to your eye to just watch the elves and dwarves fighting side by side like this. Eastron hunters there, out of ammo, just coming in trying. Oh no! I thought we might have tried to chase them back for a minute, but. Eastron Hunters are stopping that anyway. Goodness sake, the Palace Guard are going to love that fight. Palace Guard are going to absolutely grind through these poor hunters. Let me just take a gulp of well, not coffee, tea. I do like coffee, but I tend not to really drink it. I mean, I get a lot of my caffeine from tea anyway. I do like to think that I'm a pretty low caffeine guy, but my goodness me, I do drink a lot of tea. Which is just as bad. I should probably start drinking sort of decaf tea. So, you know, I drink tea for the fun, not really for the caffeine, at least I like to think, but maybe I am hooked. I just don't know it. Anyway, over here, we do have the Angmar arriving. I do like this, because Angmar is... oh, okay, right, we'll talk about this in a minute. But, like, Angmar really is a sledgehammer. You know, when you've got something like Mordor and Misty... They grind to attack you, whereas I find Angmar, when Angmar attacks you, it comes in like it's a quick slam on the skull, and that's the way that they're best at it. You can grind if you want to, you know, you've got stuff like the Barrow Wights, of course, but yeah, oh dear, those halberds just got rinsed before I even got to explain what the sitch was. That's very cool. Sorry, so the Rangers got set up here, and they were just blasting straight down. Oh my god. Oh my goodness me. That's an absolute just deletion there from the Rangers. Dear me, Alexius, I'm sorry about that. He's trying to come in with wave number 2. The cave trolls sort of rushed up to try and catch those Rangers. Deary me. That's some good damage. Some really, really good damage. Ouch, sorry. I really would have said Misty with the halberds needs to go to the right side. Now, I think everybody's wanting to attack the right side yet. Looks like that's where Angmar is throwing themselves in. The right side is a bit of a nicer side to attack. You've got a bit more of a space to sort of spread out. But I really would have wanted to see the halberds over here. Just fighting the dwarves where their AP is a bit more useful, fighting up against this sort of more organised battle line, and less risk of rangers. I know the rangers could come over here easy enough, but still. Let's zoom in a little bit more for a second, just to sort of show you how dense these lines are getting on the attacking side, and how fragile they really are starting to get on the defenders. We really are thin over here now. This is a bit scary. But there's still more, and those are Blackwatch Legion. That's a massive 10 mass per infantryman there. So yeah, you can see how easily they're just walking through the lines now. They're not even in shield wall. They are just able to just saunter on through like those dwarves are not even there. Very, very scary to get on the front lines. Over here, Uruk-hai infantry still making a slam for the middle up against those spread out 3rd Legion. Taking some shots from the back though. And oh yeah, dear me. Yeah, those are more rangers opening up into the Uruk-hai infantry. What are we at now? 19 for 27. Now I think a big part of that is just because of the casualties, the massive casualties that poor Alexius has been facing over here. But he's arrived, and he's arrived with a full unit. Or well, I say a full unit, a very, very sizable unit. over here. Receiving a charge is very unpleasant for him, but if some of those halberdiers are able to sort of turn around, which one or two of them did, that's a halberd attack. That's very, very damaging up against those Sindar. But we need something on these guys' back, because to be honest, this is great. I didn't actually see him being able to get into a position like this with all the beating that was coming his way. We really need something more on their backs. We do have this bloodied unit of halberds making their way up alongside some guardians from Power Ranger. That's good to see. Really need those guys coming in and sort of plugging up this gap, no? Though, not just sort of trying to work our way through the line. Does look like those guys in the back are just sort of on rear guard, though. That's very nice. Goodness, we could use more, though, just to make sure we don't end up getting broken. Good stuff from Hades. I do like that Hades is really, he's playing a bit of a support role, which is very nice. He's got his ranged units backing everybody up, but then he's also just using his militia swarms to just kind of support all the lines. Looks like now the attackers are bringing out the big guns with their crossbows, though, and this is really going to be, I mean, as I say, it's tough to really do some damage with your range units when you're attacking Thranduil's halls. But as I've said time and time again here, any kill is mattering. You know, this is not like a normal sort of siege attack where you really, you know, you've got to try and make sure that your range units are doing some damn good work. Here we're pretty happy with whatever we can get. And you can see Angmar here by Armor is I'll probably just say WC, is really pushing deep here, performing well with this sort of sledgehammer approach. As I said, that's sort of what Angmar is pretty good at with his very sort of much smaller, much more elite army. This is the best choice for him. We saw that mortar strike there from the not Blacklocks, sorry, the Iron Watch of Miramir. Breaking down through a few of these poor dwarves, taking some friendly fire from that, but it's enough to break the charging Snaggastalkers. Charging Snaggastalkers, though, they did make the path available for the Trolls of Gundabad, though these poor guys are not going to be making it out as they run straight into the Orc Hunters to get snagged. But hey, if nothing else, it's going to stop them from firing for a minute. And now they're running into the backs of the Axe Guard. Yeah, those poor guys are not returning to the field here. But they're very, very cheap. So that's all well and good. The main push is... oh dear. Actually getting quite nicely blunted, but Thranduil has had to send forward his real elites. Now, I would go for that. If I had that ballista. Oh no, shoot, I'm really sorry. So we missed every single ballista shot. But that's just sort of the way it goes, and that's probably why Thanatos has brought these elites forward now. These Guards of Khazad, 2 units of Guards of Khazad, goodness sake, have been sent forward because he knows we don't have to worry about them being shot by a ballista. Hammer Guard, going to be able to do something to these guys, of course. Going to be able to crack down a few of them, no doubt, but still it's a very, very tough fight for any Orc or Uruk. Scourge Raiders with their axes, going to struggle to... oh, sneeze. Hey, yo! Dear me, I do sneeze away from the mic, but it's pretty loud anyway. So it probably does get picked up. Eastron Warriors moving up. Great. Hopefully they don't get shot at. I think it's nice using them against the Dwarves. Try and limit that. They'll survive. As long as they don't get shot at, they'll survive okay because of that defensive skill. Those 2 blades coming in very useful for them. Barrow Wights from Power Ranger. See, I would never really recommend running your Barrow Wights. It doesn't really make them that much faster. And it does end up tiring them out. So what little attacking and defensive ability they do have gets lost. Now, of course, the main defensive ability comes from their massive armor value, their massive sort of elemental armor value. Goodness sake! Just absolutely peppering this whole area with this fire. Absolutely just brutal mortar fire from the Iron Watch into the swarms that are approaching now. Tribesmen arriving too. These poor pikes getting blitzed. Goodness sake. Yeah, some real effective fire there. Barrage fire from the boys today. Over on this end, crossbowmen. All the attackers have moved forward. They're archers now. So yeah, we're Both sides are really bloodying each other up with their range damage. Now this would be the question, is have the attackers gone too deep into their range? 29% now. The only reason I was looking at that there is because a lot of the time there is the gentleman's agreement of kind of the 50% rule for Thranduil's halls, and that is to not sacrifice the outer defences and fall back until you've lost 50% of your guys. I generally think it's a nice way to play, because if you run back too early, it's quite, you know, it is a single choke point. And this is going to allow the attackers to really start using up more and more of their ammo. Looks like we are... No, we're thinking about it, we're thinking about it. Over on this right side, this is really what I think is going to maybe cause them to retreat though. Because we can't plug this back up now, it's starting to get a little bit too crazy. And this is, to be honest, where the Ballista crew have arrived. I would probably be trying to slam more of my troops in. Who's this over here? Alexius, he's got his ranged units. Crossbows, you could try and run the crossbows over here, get them set up in this position. I don't know. I'd really be pouring myself in over on this end now. The centre here, Power Rangers actually really hammering into the middle. Alongside Hades. Hades is just everywhere. Everywhere you look, you've got these men of Rhun trying to support the orcish push. That rear charge, though, is going to be able to break these Variag marks. To be honest, though, if I got rear charged by an armour upgraded Elven Palace Guard, I would be out of there as well. Guardians of Cardoom arriving. Is that unarmour upgraded 3rd Legion? Wow. I didn't think I'd ever see Thanatos do that. But yeah, dear me. So yeah, no, they're here, and they're actually getting poked and prodded back. We don't have a pike on this end to try and outrange those pikes. But we do have sort of an open position there. We did have some ranged units to come rattling shots in. Woodland Realm Protectors, Woodland Protectors could get their butts over here, start raining fire in. But I know, as I keep saying, you know, the micro attention is a struggle. Power Ranger looks like he's going to be coming forward in here with his snag of stalkers. I mean, exhausted snag of stalkers are not going to last long. And it's good, yeah. Nowaki is just going to come in with his charge. Bit of a nasty downhill charge. 2213. It didn't actually hit. That's a great win for Power Ranger. Oh, maybe it hit. But it wasn't very damaging, so now the boys are just going to be able to run up and start hacking and slashing at those deer riders. Do a bit of damage there. Very good stuff for the stalkers. Not very much damage at all anyway, but still, it's something. It could have been beautiful if the charge was sort of pulled off there, but no, unfortunately it was just a bit too steep for them to charge down. Downhill charges are a bit tricky with the medieval too. You have to be a bit wary about it. Angmar Marauders. Did I see? Yeah, I did actually see some handful of Angmar Marauders. That's quite a rare sight, actually. Tend not to pop up all that much. And I do, like, as I'm looking across the attackers, I'm a bit worried just because of the amount of range power that we've got left on the attack. And, you know, I see, like, it's great that we're just using it left and right. Those Nazhai coming up. I wonder if those Guardians of the Guards of Khazad. I wonder if they're still kicking about. Not many of them. Most of them have been brought down by the work of the Hammer Guard, by the work of just all of the axes from the Scourge Raiders, maybe a little bit of friendly fire here and there too, and the trolls as well, no doubt. There's still 40 of them left here, trying to sort of run off and deal with the units that have pushed through, but the problem is there's not really a front line anymore. You can see from the mini-map the kind of the way of it. I'm going to drop the trees detail, so it does make it look not as pretty, but lets us kind of get a quick view over what is truly happening here. It is quite a nice feature. I used to really dislike it, but it's quite a nice feature in like Warhammer, where trees will sort of disappear once you get close to them. It does sort of help when you're battling in the Wood Elf territory and so on. But no, we can do just the same here, just by lowering the graphics for a minute. Eastrom Warriors, definitely something. I mean, I really like the Eastrom Warriors. I find them a fun unit to use, and I will always try to bring them. but I very rarely get much work done with them. But they are just a good, because of that defensive skill, something like this is quite good for them, especially up against the likes of the Hammers of Gundabad. They can actually stay standing up against something like that for quite a while. Iron Watch of Mirror coming forward. What are they going to go for? Is that both units off them? No, sorry, that's just one unit. It's just a lot of boys there. Getting set up. Receiving javelins. Yeah, again, I would pour javelins on these guys happily. No shields or anything like that. But just aiming up. Let's see where they're going for. Just popping those mortars up into this. Whoa, my goodness me. Ouch. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of dead tribesmen. A lot of dead and knocked down Narem. I wonder if we're going to go in for round 2. We are. No, maybe not. Iron Watch. You thinking about it? No, one was enough. Maybe it wasn't quite as much damage as Thanatos was expecting. He's wanting to hold the last few of those shots for later on in the fight. Never a good sign for the defenders to see those Greenwood Rangers being sent into melee, but hey, a massive defensive skill from the Rangers up against the massive defensive skill from the Eastron Warriors. Going to be definitely some skilled displays going on there. Orc Hunters arriving now, 2 out of ammunition. So this is one of those, I mean, you see this happen, I'm not going to say quite often, it's rare when you do have a situation where the attackers still have ammo and the defenders are out. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. So the defenders are going to get really tempted to fall back now. Because of course if they fall back they can really limit the damage the attackers can do. We're seeing here that was a big break. Damn, that's a lot of Gundabad Guard to have breaking. But I guess they were just feeling a bit surrounded there with the 3rd Legion and the Hiri Peng actually sort of getting around them. And all the firepower coming from their side and the enemy side. A lot of friendly fire. Of course, the Orcs not really worrying too much about friendly fire. Looks like the push on this end is pretty much gone. The Sindar once again using this as an avenue to approach. Comes slamming on down into these lightly defended archer units. I mean, you'd love to maybe get a charge on the back of those barrow wights while you still could. That'd be great, just to sort of deal with a few of them. But no, they're pulling back up the hill now. What I've got a really bad habit for doing it. I tend to attack through this avenue. When I'm an attacker, I tend to come up the left side. Don't really know why, but it just tends to be where I feel comfortable. And usually it's because I've got, say, a ranger unit or some sort of archer unit propped up right there so I can support myself. But usually I'll charge up here and then I'll finally break through. I'll feel really good and happy and sprint around to try and back up the centre, only to have a Sindar or some sort of defensive cavalry unit charge me as soon as I push through. So I think that's what Nawaki is going to be doing toward the end game here with this cavalry unit. Quick charge there once again into the crossbowmen. This is where you really, I mean, we want something like the Variag mercenaries or any other range unit to be peppering the Sindar, while one unit is just taking a bit of a sacrifice for us. You know, we can try and punish them. Basil has emerged now to be present for the end of this fight, it seems, so I'm going to be a little bit distracted as he comes tearing around. Mountain Orc Berserkers, hey, they're coming in to do some more tearing of their own. Mixing them up with the Barrow-wights is quite a cool shout. I like that a lot. And they're going to be able to do some good work. The Snow Trolls as well arriving. So, I mean, yeah, no, I'd probably recommend, or I'd at least be suggesting to the defenders at this point, you know, to think about retreating now. Think about starting to pull some stuff back, because things are getting a little bit hectic. But at the same time, if they can blunt this is really, I mean, I'm not saying this is the last attack here, but this is the attackers are really pouring a lot into it. Little Matt, come here. He tries his best to sort of knock me over. He's very bad, so I try to catch him. If he does it again, I'll go quiet for a second. I'll pick him up and I'll have to hold him in place while I go through a bit of the battle, just to keep him calm. Naz High there, going in up against the Iron Watch of Mirror. They'll break that through the Iron Watch of Mirror. They are a 2 hit point unit. They're certainly not too bad in melee. You know, they take those. It's just the massive crossbow creations. massive handheld mortars, really, to slam into the enemy. There's Basil. Let me just pick my right time to strike. I got him. There he goes. Now, Basil is a big cat. He is tough to hold, but let's just observe this for a minute with him. Just so he gets the idea that, like, I'm not actually free right now. I'm quite busy. I'm doing something. So, you know, if he wants attention, then he's got to hang out with me while I do it. There he goes. I don't know if he gave that noise on mic or not, but I'll put him down on the desk. There's him. That's fine. One Hiri Peng, actually, mixed in amongst this. One of these wood elves still kicking him out there. Still 32 nas high. Oh, we do have the Iron Watch still. Elders of the Elven King firing away, taking shots from the ground though. Black Orcs of the mountains kicking about still. So there's a lot of tools for the attackers and the dreaded Witchers. Maybe that's what the Elders of the Elven King. To be honest, if I was the Elders, I'd be tempted to consider shooting up and over up against something like the Witchers, just because the absolute danger that they pose. And also the accuracy that you can get with the Elders. I don't think he's going to do it, and maybe it's not the best idea, but I'm just saying I'd consider it. The Mithril Guard are in there too, but this is just sort of chaos now. There is technically a front line still, but it's just a brawl right now. But Mithril Guard, they are tough to brawl with. The Berserkers will be able to do a bit of damage to them, but the Berserkers are taking a beating right now from javelins. AP not really being super useful up against them, but it is what it is. Basil, please. I love you to pieces, man. He's a sweet boy. I love him. Nothing in this world is, has my love more than my little Basil boy. But my goodness me, he's an annoying little man sometimes. Still, Nawaki's got a lot of troops. Maybe you'd argue probably a few too many. I'd maybe want something sent over. I'd maybe grab these wardens, send them around, or maybe these Hiri Lang. I don't think we need all of this still over here, but maybe Nawaki's kind of leaving them there just so that they can be moved to be on hand somewhere else, or they can pull back to the final defense. We do have one blue unit back here. Looks like there's maybe a unit that was... Oh, no. No, we do. Ah, okay. The First Legion and the Sons of the Fallen are standing guard on the back lines. That is good to see. You know, so we do, if there is some little push through, the attackers cannot just carry themselves straight to victory by claiming the town hall. Or the town centre, really. Fearmongers there, very great sight for the attackers even. But certainly somebody that the javelins want to go for, but the javelins are out. These guys are setting themselves up in a nice position, but they've got their swords out. So I think they're out as well. Dear me, Nawaki is just about finished here, ammunition-wise. Wardens of Amon, like, they've still got their bows out right now. They don't have too many shots, do they? Pretty sure they've not got many volleys. Over here. Yeah, so it looks like the right side is pretty much broken. Guards of Khazad look like they're trying to pull back, sort of the final defenders there, just trying to get out. A few elves, those 4 Greenwood Rangers just wave. Okay, no, broken. I'm surprised that they were holding for that long, to be honest, so they did good. Those snag a skirms as well. Oh. The announcer had something to say, but I didn't catch it. Dragon's Wrath Guildsmen too. Crossbowmen, and see, this is the thing that worries me for the attackers. It's just the amount of range power we've got still. And I don't know how we're going to use it. Shadow bows out of ammo. Crossbows. We've got these pikes here. Dragon's Wrath crossbows, but... Okay, maybe. Maybe we can do some work with these guys, actually. But either way, it's a 2 hit point unit. Nice bloody force. Nice 4 clansmen. Good on the boys. They're nice and fresh, ready for action later on. Good little rallying horn call as... Yeah, so you can see from the mini-map there, we do have the elves and dwarves pulling back inside now. Quite cool to see them. Unfortunately, of course, this gate doesn't... it's not an actual gate, so you just sort of move through it like that. Both the attackers and defenders. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. You're a lovely little cat. You're lovely. You're my favourite cat in the world. Come here. Come here. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. I know. I know. So yeah, let's just try and move back to the front. Or I can sit for a quick second. But I think... Oh, no, not inside a tree. I think it looks like the defenders are in sort of full retreat now. We're seeing some little green on the right side. I think those are guards of Khazad, aren't they, Basil? Do you think those are guards of Khazad just pulling off to the right side? Maybe not running, maybe just going to try and hide in some trees, do a little backstab later. I know, little man. I don't know. He's a bad boy, but I love him to pieces. He's such a sweet boy. Look at you. Look at Basil. Look at Basil boy. Okay, down you go again. Oh, that little man. Let's see if that was guards of Khazad. And are they broken or are they just settling? Oh, sorry, no, these are elders actually. Oh, interesting. Like that. Yeah, pop some shots into these guys, making them come at you. Shooting into the Naz High as well, maybe. You know, I'm never really a big fan of, say, a defender like running all the way off to the edge, but that's not what he's doing. You know, he's just sort of settled himself up somewhere nice, and he's constantly engaging them. That's the thing. So, you know, that's something I definitely don't mind. Over here, we've got the Witcher on Blackguard. Because they're Elders of the Elven King, you've got to send something decent to deal with them. But they're a ranged unit. So, yeah, it just depends. I'm interested to see what the attackers are going to do here. They're going to wait to sort of just deal with that. And these Sindar. These are... Oh, my God. Oh, imagine if we could get the Sindar over to back up the Elders. The Elders are fighting, say, the Blackguard. And then the Sindar come in behind the Blackguard. That would be devastating. And again, just... the attackers sort of being punished. We don't have any unit to counter these Sindar. You know, Thranduil's Halls is somewhere that I think you can kind of get away with it. But I do really recommend it, especially when you've got a 5-man attack team. Somebody bring a unit of wargs. Somebody bring something to counter Cav. Little dude, you're lovely. I swear, when I get to the end of this battle, I was planning to do another recording, but I'll go and I'll spend some time with Basil. I'll make sure he's okay. He's just a silly boy. But yeah, so when you've got a 5-man attack team, I really would recommend having something that can chase enemy Cav. When you got... Oh, we did catch the Elders. What's over here? Are these routing units? Must be. Yeah, no, those guys are routing about. So no, last few Elders... If we could get the Sindar, imagine a rear charge from the Sindar. Or even if they did turn around in time, just charging straight in their face would be absolutely horrific. But the last few Elders are not going to stand too long here. The Blackguard are certainly capable of dealing with the Elves. Even Elves of this caliber. What's going on here? Yeah, it looks like the Sindar are just kind of dealing with the last of these archer units. While the attackers gather for the final push. And now it's just going to be a case of who goes up first and how do they want to try and do it. Yeah, that'll be them sort of sorted over there on the right. Don't think that was a general. Oh, that is a... Oh, no, sorry, that's the Angmar general there. Again, that could be a kill if we could charge and deal with WC's general. That could be absolute curtains here for a lot of the boys. But no, the Elders are surviving a lot longer than I thought they would. Yes, they do have a lot of defensive skill with those long blades, but they will perish soon. And that should be that. Okay, good. So let's put our focus now toward the center here. Advancing up with those crossbowmen, they think they're fighting. Sometimes you get a glitched out unit on the corner there, that's what's happened. Yeah, a few of these woodland protectors have been sort of glitched out on the side. Even one elder, that guy being a banner carrier of the elders, he would be able to do some good work. And yet you can see it sort of happened on the other side there. How would I do this now? I don't know how that... Because I don't think you can shoot through that door, can you? You can move through it freely, but I don't know if you can shoot through it. Because, you know, we'd want to maybe get a ranged unit here and try and just blast in. Even then, I mean, the boys have pulled themselves back nicely, so we've got to come in forward. My vibe, my thing, would be... It's got to be a coordinated attack here, and we have to just try and block this up, and create a space for a crossbow unit. And then we throw in the Dragon's Wrath crossbowmen, and they just delete a side. I mean, we've got, what, the Mithril Guard, they're pretty healthy still. The Legion Bodyguard, they're very healthy. We've not seen them fight yet. First Legion Pike's absolutely devastating. Okay. And then Hiri Lang. A bit of a swarm of Wood Elves at the back. But if we can just come in, we need to get those... I mean, the Dragon's Wrath crossbowmen are getting it shot to pieces, but I think it's still what we need to do. So we just need kind of everybody to go forward with their melee infantry to... Not so much with the point of view of, like, yeah, mass attack, we're going to break them down, but with this idea that we're going to... Oh dear. Yeah, so we're blasting, we're just wasting ammunition against this this slope, boys, be careful. Don't be sitting on fire at wall right now. Variag Merc's out of ammo. Narim trying to go up and over. You can do that. Don't know if they're able to right now though. Because yeah, you could... Oh good, we actually got it there. So you can see that's where the physical wall ends. This top level you can actually shoot through. So the odd shot will be getting over, but just not really enough of them. Not enough at all. Let's just zoom in for a sec over here, and then I will settle at 2x speed for a second. Blackguard pulling back. Some broken Hiriek, that's all that was. But, what is this? Greenwood Rangers broken. No, that's that. Good. Yep. No, Basil is still just right behind me, and he's just like pushing. He keeps just pushing his head against my calves. Everything is fine. His food. He's got food. You know. He just needs to settle for a minute. Good. That's the boy. He's settling down now. Good. He's sat in his box. He's fine. Let's jump 2x speed for now, as we see what is gonna be happening. And this is the wonder of, like, well, the defenders just let them gather. Oh, they've plugged this up. Oh damn, you see, so they plugged that up now. You must not be able to shoot through that. I don't think you can. No, I really don't think you can shoot through that, but even if you could, you've got the Sons of the Fallen, great armor, great shield, First Legion Pikes, great armor, great armor and a shield, which is a big surprise for a pike, of course, and AP pike at that. Hell. I mean, I don't know. Do we still have those barrow whites? Do we still have a few barrow whites? We were using them. Usually, they will stand out. Oh, they're back. Oh, no. 171? Are they glitched out? Surely not. Perhaps. But, yeah, no, dear me. Might have to go 6x speed. I mean, this is a good sign. Hopefully it does mean the attackers are coordinating a bit. They're planning this out. But the Golden Boys of Rhun are coming in first. And they are slamming themselves straight into the spear and pike line of the Dwarves. We need some mass. A few of those bloody guards of Khazad pulled out from the right flank. Getting sent in to join this push. Quite effectively just sort of blunting up that right side. That's great. White Orc Fearmongers. Nice. Okay, because the White Orc Fearmongers cannot fight the pikes. If they just fight the Sons of the Fallen, that's an amazing thing for them. We are really getting deep here. Okay, we need this backed up, guys. We need something to shore up that line, because these poor dwarves are getting barreled through now. We are going to start seeing those dwarves die. Because we've started to get in and around them. I would get that Hiriek forward. If those guys are out of ammo, no they're not. If anything could be added to this, I would get something backing up that left flank. Good, we have. But yeah, dear me, okay, the sun's fallen down to 77 now. Meek's still kicking. Reforged doing okay. Dear me. Okay, yeah, so that started really nice. Can we get a break there? Because there's nothing... Oh, damn, there's another unit here lying. If there wasn't anything more, imagine if we could bust this line there, block this off, and then use this as our little shooting area. That'd be so cool. Legion Bodyguard coming up. Don't know how we're countering that. It is just going to be a very messy confrontation now, I think. Let's see, what are these guys? Pikes. Okay, good, good, good. Crossbowmen, just trying to find a target. Blackguard arriving now too, that's good. Camels Chosen. I mean, I love the Camels Chosen. I will always take them. I will always put my general in with them. But, actually no. No, yeah, no, usually I will. But, not really going to be able to go toe to toe with some of those Dwarven elites. And then it's just archers and crossbowmen. You know, so if we don't get a shot for them, it's going to be very, very tough to make this work. But we'll see. Boys might find a way. Black Orcs of the Mountains coming on in. Oh, those are Blackback Berserkers, aren't they? Oh, that's a big unit of Blackback Berserkers. Very, very nice. Right now, right now they're not loving life, but that will change. I'm sure that will change. Yeah, grinding away. Because the far left side with these pikes and the Mithril Guard is not a fun place to be. But the very far right side, from the attacker's point of view, is should be going quite well for them soon. Once those Berserkers work out their class, they should be able to really bust that open. Pikemen being pulled around. Oh, that's the General of Isengard, but I think Isengard's mostly gone. It shouldn't be too much of an issue for them. Good, sorry, I just had to check to make sure I was recording. I always get these little, like, fears, especially when I've had to make a few cuts. It always gives me a bit of a scare. Oh, there is some Isengard. There's more Isengard left than I thought. I had a few pikes remaining, but no, they're disciplined. You know, good fighters, those Urukai. Pushing in deep, almost sort of getting a surround going on here of the guys that have pushed through. Goodness sake, let's try and just zoom in. Oh, goodness sake, it's not really explaining much. If I zoom that back, you can kind of get an idea. Because of the elite quality of this defense, it's just not, it's not dense at all. It's, they can do a tremendous amount with just a few lines of troops. 12 Naz High remaining. Berserkers, 53. Okay. Crossbowmen, yeah, those dragons with crossbows just need to find a target. Tribesmen as well. Crossbows. Oh, looks like they've caught sight of the Sindar. Yeah, no, the Sindar cannot do anything. I'm sure about that. The boys will not let them. Unless the guildsmen go chasing them. You know, that would not be a good idea. What is this? It's just two Sindar remaining. I wouldn't chase them with anything. I would just set up a unit behind us so that if they did advance, we'll, you know, take them out Last Samurai style. Hiriek here, starting to struggle now. Berserker's still not loving it. Very strange. Oh, we do have the general though. The general is stuck in over on this end. I don't think it's going to be a big game changer if the Dwarven general goes down. You know, the remaining Dwarven units are just so elite. I don't think losing the general is going to be a goodbye situation. I mean, Khazad in general is just such a high quality force that it's tough to make them budge, it really is. Woodland Protectors advancing, just to, I mean, be decent wad of numbers, which is something that, as I say, the defenders don't have on the front lines right now. We tend to have like just this big quality. So just getting a bit of mass to flesh it out would be very useful. Camels Chosen have arrived now. I mean, yeah, again, like Camels Chosen normally, yeah, this is a great scenario for them, and I think they'll do not too bad, but it's just the quality of troops they're being asked to deal with is a lot. First Legion Pikes, still at 88. Saved up in the back. Elders, they've got some ammo. Here Lang, of course they don't have any. Greenwood Rangers. Just little by little, a few of these more fodder units are being sent up. Here Yoth, they'll be great toward the end of this as well. And there is even some Wardens of Ammo Lank tucked away with those heavy axes to come breaking through the attackers when needed. So it is just, it's gonna just be a grind here. There's not going to be a huge amount that I'm going to be able to talk about, but yeah, I will mention again, I'm trying to make some shorts here and there. I've had a few moments in this battle that I think I will sort of make into shorts. Main reason I'm just doing that is because I'm seeing the shorts that I have been putting out, I'm getting quite a few like random, you know, first-time viewers on them. So it'd be really cool if I could get just some first-time viewers from the shorts, drag them onto the main videos. Maybe the dream would be tempt a few people into playing Reforged, or just tempt a few people into playing some classic Total War games in general. That would be awesome. So yeah, if you have been watching this, or you've been watching any of my other battles, and you do think, oh shoot, that's a really cool moment, I really enjoyed that, please, you know, give a mention in the comments, and I might be able to just jib it up and slam it out, because it's really cool. As I say, it's a bit of fun. Shorts are a bit confusing. Sometimes they do really well, sometimes they don't. It's like yeah, a bit odd, but there, as I say, they don't take much effort to make. Does look like a few of these Sindar did get blatted up when they came in for that first charge. I say, I really think the attackers' really only hope are these Grip Drangsrath crossbowmen, and I just do not think that the defenders are going to give them a chance to use them. I'm not going to make any, like, you know, certain calls just yet. But we'll probably talk about this battle toward the end. Sort of some things that I think maybe the attackers could have done differently. But Hiriek, everything being pulled back. Looks like they're being pulled back so that the Greenwood Rangers can open up, and also so that the Woodland Protectors can do so as well. Because it does look like, and big thing, the defenders do not want to accidentally push their way outside. If they push their way outside, then you better believe those crossbowmen are going to get that shot that they've been hunting for. They may even already have it. Narim coming forward. No. Yeah, so we have pushed outside, which, as I say, is a bit of fear, because we do not want to get shot up. Still 32 Berserkers, still 43 Camels Chosen. Spread all across the line, those Camels Chosen. Quite cool. But yeah, so I think, any other memes to chat about? I don't really know. Yeah, I've been on a good sort of spree of recording recently. This start of the year just started out really weird. A lot of tough things going on, so I had to sort of focus on bits and bobs. But now I do seem to be in a bit more of a rotation with my recordings. So hopefully I'm able to maybe get 2 videos a week. I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to try and do 2 videos a week, and just, if I end up missing a week now and again, that's just the way it happens. But 2 videos a week is cool, and it's something that I think should be possible, as long as I sort of push myself. I've been editing up and going through a lot of my general meme recordings with me and my friends, which of course I put those out on YouTube. Do not feel like, you know, pressured to watch them at all. They are absolutely just for, they're more for an archive than anything else. Hey, you know, if somebody gets some weird entertainment out of it, then yeah, awesome. That is super. Oh, okay, so we've pushed in now. They've sort of let the attackers come in, as they show that the elders can get shots off, so that everybody can get these javelins spent. Ouch. But that is meaning, would we want to do it? Would we want to line something up there? I don't know if it would be worth it or not. I mean, the attackers just need to get stuck in everything, really. Any melee that we've got left, not that we have much melee left, but We've got to just get it stuck in, get it, secure a space. I say that's the only option here. It's just to try and secure a space. Skirmishers coming forward. Oh dear. But yeah, it's tough. I've not played on the new Thranduil's halls yet. I've watched some. Of course, we've had a few of them pop up on Umad's channel, so I have checked out what the map is and the like. I've got a few battles already recorded, and they're all set up and ready to go on YouTube. But we don't want to put anything out until the new version is released. So yeah, there are a few battles that are ready, you know, but I'm just sitting on them for the time being. You know, we will see when we're given the green light to do that. But I mean, I think every day, you know, we're getting a little bit closer, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, and it's there's a hell of a lot of work that's been done, a lot of new units, a hell of a lot of new maps, gorgeous maps too, to be sure. A lot of very, very pretty looking units. A lot of big changes to the way the game plays. I do really like it. You know, I think I've been playing so much of the new test version that going back and playing this main version and watching battles from the main version, it does kind of give me a bit of a surprise sometimes. Of course, remembering the effectiveness of rangers everywhere, the differences to trolls and trolls sort of effectiveness is wild. But yeah, so it's all pretty cool. All pretty cool. Oh yeah, shoot. Yeah, I might as well talk about that now. It's good for the theme. There's Commander Legolas, who of course everybody knows. He's been playing about a bit, and he's actually just started up a new YouTube channel. He's got, as it stands, there's just one fight. It's on Wars of Arda, which is of course Bilbo's lead Bilbo mod that you know, of course, well, Tolkien-esque. Lots and lots of differences to Reforged, of course, but very Tolkien-esque. So if anybody is looking for some more battles, then that's a good shout if you want to check that out. I can't remember the name of his channel off the top of my head, but I'll pop it in the description of this video. Shoot, I really should. No, it's gone. But no, so right now there's only one battle on it, but I'm sure that there will be more to follow shortly. But yeah, these shots coming in and over from the elders here, just pouring into the poor tribesmen. Crossbows trying to come in. I mean, this is what we need. We need to just get shots spent, but I don't know how the hell we're gonna do it. Are they getting shots used? Because we just sort of move in, get into guard mode, and just fire. But I don't think anybody's doing it. It says they're firing, but I don't think so. That's a right shame. Woodland Protectors coming forward. Narim cracking in. More of these shots coming up and over from the elders. I don't know. Must be. This object must extend a little bit, and it's giving them just a bit of shelter there, because you're seeing all those puffs of dust. That's an admit defeat from one of the attackers. Looks like it's Rhun. Looks like that's going to be followed by the rest of the guys too, which I don't blame them for. They've fought their hearts out here, but nah, they just weren't going to be getting through there. They weren't going to get their opportunity. So that's them pulling back. So there's something left. Looks like the defender's going to be rushing out, but I think there's probably just going to be a grind now. It's possible that WC had left the game at some point. Looks like that. So that's why it's always good to try and admit defeat before you leave a game, just in case one of your troops returns from routing. You know, that can happen. Sindar being used to sort of chase people around. So we'll just set 2 times speed for a second. So, very fun fight. I think that, yeah, I mean, problems was really just a lot of archers, you know, which is not, yeah, maybe just a few too many, not heaps too many. I would just say slightly too many archers and using them a little bit too late. You know, we kind of had this, we had this initial attack, which is where like a lot of the fodder assaulted, but then that wasn't backed up by archers. You know, usually what I would want to see is the archers come first, the fodder is right behind them, the archer, you know, the fodder archers use up their ammunition, then the fodder attacks, while the good archers come in behind them. Whereas what we kind of had was like the fodder attacked, then the main line attacked, and then the archers turned up. Whereas, you know, what I would prefer is the archers attack, the fodder attacks, then the main line attacks, and then, you know, your elite archers come in and chip and chop after, you know? So it's just out of time, I think. So I don't necessarily think we had too many archers, I just think we used them at the wrong times. And it meant that, you know, the defenders were able to really punish all the attackers like early waves. You know, those early breaks, my god, that was painful. I'm excited to see how many kills the Sindar got. I think it's going to be quite a lot. I don't think it was like game ender for them. You know, I think it's, I mean, I'll always say that it's good to have some unit to counter enemy cav, but you know, it's not absolutely necessary on Thranduil's halls. I think you can get away without it. Yeah, so I think, yeah, that explains why the Barrow Wights weren't moved up, because he wasn't in the game. He maybe crashed out, that's very possible as well. But yeah, any other bits and bobs? I think when the actual individual unit tactics, I think were generally okay. It was just kind of the flow of the battle as a whole was working against the attackers. But no, so I think had they come forward with their archers, picked away for a bit longer, made sure that the Sindar didn't do anything silly. I'd love to know how many kills that ballista got as well. I'm really, it's a shame that I didn't get to sort of see that ballista getting used. But I'm sure it did some decent work. Still as well, I mean, you got to keep in mind you can position your archer sort of here, but that's why Nawaki pulled back, so that he was away from that. So I don't think that would have worked anyway. Any other things? I don't really know. Yeah. I'd say it's tough, like up against Thanatos and Nawaki, they really know what they're doing. You know, that's why they tend to do these sort of like 2v5 shenanigans, you know, that's why they do take on these really tough scenarios to try and test themselves, which is great. So it is always tough though to best them. Trying to think if there was any other bits and bobs they could have done differently as an attacker. No, I think army comps in general was okay. Just maybe slightly few archers, that's all. Good to see, and yeah, you saw, yeah, Smeagol. I knew that Smeagol would do some damn good work, and he certainly did, you can see. But from the boys, elders there, you know, first elder with the actual general, he was held back. Second elder had the heroic jewels at the end. Oh my goodness me, those rangers, 1,290. I was looking at the 699 thinking that was damn good, but no, the 1,290. Oh, sorry, no. 1,029. Still very, very good. Yeah, 3 of them I think is a good choice. When your ally can't bring rangers, I think it's a good idea. Or body piercing archers or something like that. Palace guard there, very, very nice. And then the Sindar with their, let me close my eyes, 8. I close my eyes, I of course mean zoom in and squint. 855 for the Sindar. That's kind of what I thought. And then the prisoners from the Sindar. A lot of those prisoners would have been secured at the very end there, but I genuinely think they would have grabbed a lot of prisoners during the fight, and some of them would have returned. So yeah, the not being able to counter the Sindar, you know, it's kind of just crazy when you see like the Sindar was killing more than, you know, Sindar almost killed as many as Smeagol, you know. It's absolutely wild, yeah. But troop numbers as well, goodness sake, very nice. Like it was definitely a pretty freaking dramatic fight. And I like this from WC and Power Ranger. You can just see the 2 types of Angmar armies you can make. You know, you really can be Horde Angmar, or you can be, you know, pretty elite Angmar. And they both can have their damn good effects. So cool. Anyway, that's all I'll say for this one. But yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that, and it was nice to have Mirkwood in Thranduil's halls for maybe the last Thranduil's halls. I say that, but maybe not. We maybe have another one tucked into the folder